up, bitches? Welcome back to the Sassy Spiritual Bitches podcast.
What's up? What's up?
It's spooky season episode number 3.
Yeah.
Can't believe it's number 3 already.
I know. That's crazy.
It is crazy. How is it already like the 3rd week of October?
That's shocking to me.
Me too.
Oh, fuck.
It stresses me out.
I know, me too. I'm like, oh my god, what do I have to show for myself this month? I don't know.
Me neither. Whatever. It's okay. No need.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Damn it.
Damn it indeed.
Oh well.
So good. So today we're going to talk about cryptids.
Yes. I was like, what's that word again? Because I'm not even familiar with that, but here we are.
I didn't know, like I heard that word a bunch of times. I'm like, what is a cryptid? And then because I'm thinking like it's a bug.
Yeah, it sounds like a bug.
But they're like, no, it's like, I don't want to say mythical creatures, but whatever.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, and then they gave examples like Bigfoot and Loch Ness. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Yeah. That's
Oops.
cool.
My
I like
bad.
those things. I've always found them really fascinating.
Me too.
I mean, we've talked about a million times, like, how our awakening journeys happen, but mine was just, like, endless curiosity. And so, of course, I am fascinated by mythical creatures.
Yes. Good old Sasquatch and shit like that.
Yeah.
Love it.
Good times. Did you ever not believe that Bigfoot was real? Or were you always like, yeah, probably?
No, I was always like, yeah, legit.
I know. There's never been a time in my life where I've been like, Bigfoot is not real. I've just been like, yeah, this fucking dude is definitely real.
Like, not to say I'm sure a bunch of people did a bunch of hoaxes and shit to be assholes, but I'm like, why do you feel the need to disprove it so hard?
Yeah.
That's where mine lies.
Yeah, same.
So it's kind of like the alien thing. I'm like, the lady doth protest too much.
Exactly.
Must be true.
Oh.
So that's just how I looked at it anyhow.
Yeah, I agree. Or it's just like, statistically speaking, especially with aliens, yeah, like, even
100%.
Yeah, even like the math says that there should be other life out there. It's like, yeah, like Bigfoot. I guess if you went like land and what we've actually explored, I would say statistically speaking, there's definitely got to be some species we're not aware of.
True. Like, even just think of the ocean.
Yes.
How much shit's at the bottom of the ocean we haven't found.
I agree.
You know?
Yes.
And speaking of oceans, let's talk about the Kraken.
Yes. This is the one I was curious about last week. I never stopped to think that the Kraken might be real.
See, I always just thought it was like a big octopus, which, I mean, that's essentially what it is. But it wasn't until I started working on people and, like, you know how, like, you sometimes see people's past lives, right?
Uh-huh.
This person totally was on a boat that got crushed by a giant fucking, like in the stories of the Kraken that comes out and, like, grabs the boat and, like, crushes it.
That is so cool.
And I was like, oh.
Man, I never get to see lives like that because I'm always looking at lives that are, like, that didn't go well. You know what I mean? And
I wouldn't say that went well.
Well, dying is not a bad karma thing. Dying is just part of it. So, like, I guess. Like, even when I look at people's stories, like, I don't even see the way that they die sometimes because the way that they die almost means nothing. It's like all the shit that never happened before they died. So, like, I never get to see, like, well, I do see some cool lives, but most of them are fairly, like, they're the lives that you never did anything, right? Yes. Or that you got stuck. So I'm like, oh, yeah, you were a housewife and you weren't really that happy. And you know what I mean? And you're just like...
You were supposed to do shit and you didn't.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. So it's lots of that. But, man, seeing a Kraken lifetime, that's sweet.
Well, yeah, I was like, huh. Cool.
That is cool. All right. So it turns out they're real. And you know what? We were talking about it last time, too. Like, octopus are so fucking smart.
They're so cool.
They are so smart that imagine if there was a giant-sized one. Of course, it would be elusive.
Yeah. It probably lives in some fucking base because it's an alien, like, way deep into the fucking bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. And where do they normally say it like lives? Usually like in the Nordic, hey? Like Greenland and Iceland.
Yeah,
and like it was part of like the Norse
seas.
Yeah.
Like very Scandinavian.
Yeah, very Scandinavian, I think.
Which is kind of my background.
Oh, that's cool.
My mother's side hails from the Netherlands area.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so yeah, Kraken dwells off the coast of Norway and Greenland and terrorizes nearby sailors. Fuck, you know what though? If I was a Kraken, I would totally terrorize people. Fuck, why not?
That's so fascinating.
Like, you're fucking with the ocean, I'm gonna fuck with you, you know?
Exactly. And yeah, like even just thinking about octopus, like have you seen some of the things that they can do? My favorite story about octopus, like just so you guys know how smart this Kraken probably is, like they're like zookeepers will tell stories about the octopus. And I remember one, this guy came and fed his little octopus every day shrimp or whatever, and he's feeding him the shrimp or whatever, and all of a sudden he goes back to his office, and then like 2 minutes later there's a shrimp comes and lands on his desk. The fucking octopus got out of the cage that it was living in forever, because it probably could all along, because they can just turn into mush. And the shrimp was apparently like not fresh enough, and he fucking threw it at the zookeeper. And he just threw the shrimp in and then left. And the guy was like, "What the fuck?
The fuck are you feeding me, asshole?"
Yeah. And then after I read that one, I was like, I gotta read more octopus stories. And there's a lot like that where they like they'll sit in their little cage or whatever, and there'll be like a light above it, and they'll shoot water at the light, and then it'll electrocute everything, and then they can escape through like the tank filtration system.
Well, have you seen like they had this video, they put this, it was a smaller one, in this, I don't know, like container, looked like a Cheese Whiz kind of size container, and you just fucking watch this thing unscrew the lid from inside, throw it off, and crawl out and fucking escape down the road. I'm like, what? So smart. I can't open those jars on the best of days, let alone inside.
Yeah. You know? Holy shit, that's crazy.
Fuck, they're cool.
They're so smart. So I have no doubts that the Kraken is real and just like way smarter than us. And of course, if it doesn't want to be found, it ain't gonna be found, you know?
No, definitely not. Do you know how many times I say release the Kraken?
Really? Is that your like motto?
That's what I say whenever like, because we take the dogs everywhere we go, right? So I go get the door open, and I have to like do something with their seat cover because it hangs, right? So you got to take it off to make sure they don't fuck it up when they get in. So that's what I tell Keith. I get it all ready. I open the door, and then I say, "Release the Kraken," and he opens the door, and they run and jump in the car.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, but it's so funny. Yeah,
that's awesome. I love it.
Cool. And I'm like envisioning this big fucking thing.
Me too. And I really love like nautical stuff. Like and you know what's funny?
What?
I realized my whole life I really liked nautical type stuff. And then I remember the most recent past life I went into, I can't remember what I called myself. I was like, I'm the leader of the Army of the Sea. It was actually the Navy, but that word escaped me in like 1776 or something in Europe, Britain, Great Britain. I also couldn't remember the name of that either. They were like, "Where are you on a map?" And I was like, it's England, but I don't think it's called that."
Ah.
So anyway, I really love nautical
the big puffy pants?
Yes. Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, I didn't know what was going on, but there was some kind of conspiracy. But I've always really liked nautical things, like ships and like the colors, and so I do find the Kraken very fascinating.
I love lighthouses.
Yes.
I don't know why. I just find them fascinating.
Did you know there's a lighthouse in Saskatchewan?
What?
Yeah, in Cochin. There's like a lighthouse on the lake there, which is really weird because it's like it's a lake, not the ocean, you guys. We're landlocked. I don't know why there's a lighthouse, but there is.
Like, why would there be a lighthouse?
I really want to go see it. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Weird. Yeah, it is weird.
Maybe that should be our bonus episode instead. We'll just go
check out the lighthouse.
Check out the lighthouse.
In landlocked Saskatchewan.
Fuck.
So funny.
It is funny.
All right, what else we got? I got lots to say about these other dudes.
Yeah. So, let's talk about Nessie.
Ooh, yeah.
Nessie.
Loch Ness Monster.
Yes. So, obviously, Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Iverness, isn't it? I don't remember. I want to say Iverness.
Yeah, I've been there. It was awesome.
Oh,
I did not see the Loch Ness Monster, which was something on my list. Didn't come out that day, but I did go to, that lake, which was really cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
I know. Scotland is the shit. Everyone should go there.
It was on my list of places to go.
Ah.
No, we had to go to France instead. I'm like, fuck. I want to go to France. I wanted to go to England, Ireland, and Scotland.
That's where I went. And Ireland was it was like something we just threw on the agenda, and I didn't really know what to expect, but Ireland was like, yeah, that place was awesome. God, remember the days where we could travel and shit?
Oh, God.
And the world wasn't filled with so much politics.
And shit. And just ridiculousness.
Yeah. But anyway.
Give it 5 years. And it'll all be like golden again, I think.
Yeah. I increasingly get confused about what's going to happen. I think it's going to be the split out. Like, some people just not going to make it. Some people just not going to make it.
That's what I mean. Like, in 5 years, everyone will split who's going to split, and the rest of us will be happy.
What fucking day are we ascending? Does anyone know? Because I'd like to go now.
Yeah, what the fuck? Why'd it get delayed?
PSA, who's out there that knows what day we're moving to 5D? Because I'm ready.
Yeah, let's get this shit on the road, man.
I know we got some hypnotherapists out there. What have your people been saying?
Yeah, get on it.
Find out for us.
Rosie, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Exactly.
I've totally forgotten what we're talking about.
Loch Ness.
Right.
Okay, so, and then also the Ogopogo in the Okanagan. Apparently, one lives there too.
Yes. I've been to, Kelowna, and they had they have this Ogopogo in the statue.
Oh my God, cool.
It's just pieces, right?
Oh my God.
It's like the head comes out, and then there's this little arch in the back, and there's this tail. So I had a picture of me, like, peeking over the head.
Oh my God, that's cool.
The Ogopogo.
So what do you think it is? I have a theory, but...
I think it's legit a dinosaur that's still fucking around, that didn't die in the Ice Age because it fucking lived in the water.
That's exactly what it is. I was reading it in the Dolores Cannon books because she has a series called, and I always talk about her, but her books are so vast. She's just like a reporter of like strange phenomenon. So she talks about everything. And in her Convoluted Universe book, she wants to know what the Loch Ness Monster is. And yeah, it's basically just a dinosaur that survived the Ice Age and the meteor, because it's very just like, it loves like dark, deep caverns. It like slithers around the land, and it makes little caves in the land under the water.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's why it like rarely ever comes to the surface. It doesn't have any business at the surface. So then like the few times it's been seen, people are like, what the fuck? But it's just, a giant snake that like lives in the dirt, in the mud, way deep down. But
it's so funny. Like, you look at those old, what are they called? Oh, I can't remember the name of the dinosaur, but it has like these fins.
Yeah.
This like little egg body and this fucking long ass neck. And I'm like, you look at that and you're like, that's Nessie.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Hey,
like, that is Nessie. What the fuck? People don't know what it is. Fuck off. It's right. I'm swearing a lot today, but
I like it.
I'm animated because I like this shit.
Me too. Yeah, that's totally what I have heard it is, and what makes no sense to me.
I wish I would have kept it, but like some of the descriptions of what people said they saw, like an upside down log wriggling in the fucking water and shit. Then all of a sudden they were like, this thing came up, and they were like, that's not a log.
I know. I love looking at that stuff. And yeah, like seriously, it looks exactly like that dinosaur. Like, of course that's what it is.
Of course it is. And then there was like the big infamous picture. I can't remember what was in the 30s, I think. It was like the first time it was caught on camera. I think it was like 33 in 1933. And it was published in was it the paper? I'm pretty sure it was like the paper. It was, and it caused a big to-do.
Yeah, how crazy. But that's like, that's what I think it is. And I've heard, I can't remember what Dolores said, but they live like in lots of places on the planet. It's just like, they don't come up. And they love like cold, fresh water. And I think they actually said there might be saltwater ones too, but we would never know about those.
Well, you wouldn't.
No.
They'd probably wade in the fucking deep and dark of the ocean.
Yeah. So I think there was freshwater, maybe even saltwater ones. So they live in, like cold, freshwater pools.
Yes. So this is what one guy said. If I can read this, hold on. The creature disported itself, rolling and plunging for fully a minute, its body resembling that of a whale, and the water cascading and churning like a simmering cauldron. Soon, however, it had disappeared in a boiling mass of foam. Like,
Weird.
who talks like that?
Yeah,
But that's like
weird.
how they used to publish it in the paper.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like, that's cool. Like a simmering cauldron, boiling mass of foam. Like,
yeah, what the fuck?
And now, like, our reporters just can't fucking get anything.
Oh my god. Yes.
Sorry if you're a reporter. But
you're probably a good one if you're listening to this.
Well, let's just be honest. Like, even our language is shit these days.
Oh, for sure. Don't get me wrong. I love a good curse word. I have the mouth of a sailor. But
we're back to the nautical theme.
Yeah, the irony. But damn it, I can turn it up if I want to.
Yeah, you can.
That's actually a great writer. I don't want to say was.
I was going to say, why was?
But I actually was good at that. I remember one time I was doing a test in university and it was all like long answer because it was a like theory class or whatever. And she's just like, wow, for someone who's writing a test, you're a really great writer. I was like, fucking rights I am.
That's sweet.
Miss Lady. Yeah.
Whoever you are,
yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. But yeah, I do like writing.
If I feel inspired, I like writing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. People used to get me to write their shit all the time.
Nice.
Because I made it sound like, quote unquote, a textbook. And I'm like, oh,
nice.
You just regurgitate the same shit over and over in different words and you're good to go. That's a good thing about the English language.
That's so true.
You can say a million different things, or the same thing a million different ways.
I love it. It's like I knew I was good at school when I was in high school. Like I was on the honor roll and shit, but like I was actually talking to my guys not that long ago and I was like, why? I didn't know I was such a perfectionist. Like I would never describe myself as that. And like in a lot of cases I'm not. But in random, like, me, like, my, like, skills or my work or whatever, I'm just, like, incessantly critical. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but it's more like you're critical of you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, not necessarily perfectionism.
But, like, nothing is good enough. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where does that come from? Stupid Virgo moon bullshit.
You know what? Let's just blame the stars. Fuck it. Fuck them.
Yeah.
You ever feel bad for the astrology, like the astrological fucking planets and shit when you just blame everything on them?
Poor Mercury. Gets blamed for everything.
And Saturn and Pluto. Fuck you guys. Like all the time.
Seriously, fuck you guys.
Wait, who just went direct? It was Saturn and Pluto, wasn't it?
Definitely Saturn. I didn't hear about Pluto, but I'm not really keeping up with the times.
I get shit wrong all the time.
Yeah, so. I was actually talking to Emily, our resident astrologer, and she says all the planets go direct within the next 2 weeks. So hopefully some movement.
Well, 2 big ones just did. And I'm pretty sure it was Saturn was one of them.
Yeah, Saturn was definitely.
I think it was Jupiter. Because I was watching a couple YouTube videos. I'm like, thank fuck.
Oh God, I know. I've been telling everybody, and I might have said it like, I said on the podcast, I don't think so. I just like don't care anymore what's gonna happen, but let's move along.
Yeah.
Like I just want it to move quickly. I want the awakening to happen fast. I want the crumbling of society to happen fast. No more of this lull shit for 2 years.
Let's just roll it.
Let's just roll.
Keep it going. Keep going. Yeah, no.
Like, seriously. Because then nothing feels permanent. You're like, oh, here's problem number 1. Oh, here's problem number 2. And then suddenly
here's
we're at problem
564.
Yeah, and we're almost done. You know, but for fuck's sakes, it's taken forever.
Yeah. But you get this weird feeling like shit's gonna fucking blow up right away.
Yes.
Like bad, like it's gonna be fucking, what the fuck is happening? I feel like shit's gonna go pretty like, what is happening? And not necessarily that we'll know about it. I feel like a lot of it's gonna be the background, but we're gonna feel it energetically.
I for a long time thought it was going to be like really bad. Like I was like, oh God. And I still think we're going there. But I also feel like there'll be like more loopholes and more underground movements. So as long as I still have some sort of liberties, I'll be all right. Or if I'm only in like fucking detox jail for like a couple of weeks. I could handle that too. But like, that's it. This isn't my life. We're going.
That's it. That's all you get.
I know. It's just like at the point where I don't care anymore. Let's just get the show on the road. Goddamn.
Yes. Start making deals. Okay, I will give you this if you give me this.
Pretty much.
Don't think that's how that works, but let's hope.
Yeah. But my spirit guides keep telling me that it's not going to be as bad as I think. So that's fucking good news.
That is good news.
So yeah, Loch Ness. I don't think I had anything else.
I can't remember where the name Nessie comes from. Do you?
It's the...
Like, why do they call her Nessie?
It's because that's the nickname of the lake. Or it's like literally like Loch... It's like
because Ness.
Yeah.
Right. And then the town, and then Loch is in lake.
Yeah. And then the lake is called Ness. Ness
Lake. Okay.
So they call her Nessie, yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And Iverness is just like a tiny little town. Pretty much all they got going on is the beautiful lake there. And
yes. Did you ever read the books Outlander?
No.
I think they were talking about Iverness. Is that where I read it? I don't know. I was reading a story, and a lot of it like centered around Iverness.
I love like old places like that. There's so much history. Like you just go there and it's just so old. There's just like so much like energy there.
I know. I want to go back to Stonehenge, even though you can't get close and it's fucking a joke now, but still, like, there's a bunch of ley lines there and stuff. And like the ruins of Glastonbury, that was a really fucking cool place.
Sweet.
So sorry, I'm just like looking at some of these things that they're like, it's a misidentification of a known animal, and I'm like,
you wish.
I'm like, it's not an eel. Like, it's not a bird.
And who are the people that are relentlessly trying to make the world lack of magic? Fuck you guys or wet blankets. Guys. I don't want to be your friend. Don't call me.
So here are the top things that they're like saying it is. Awake from a bird.
Okay, yeah, you wish.
Like that fucking no. Eels. Completely incorrect in the shape. Like, since when does an eel look like a whale?
A giant eel, yeah, fuck you guys.
An elephant.
Okay, an Iverness.
Like,
that's even more fucking ridiculous.
I'm like, elephants don't live in water, 1. 2.
Or cold places.
They don't have a long fucking neck, and the Loch Ness has no ears.
Oh, for the love of
God. So, like, I don't know.
And it's like, I feel like we are down the rabbit hole far enough that, like, I get it for some of the normies who are just, like, trying to make sense of the world they think they live in. Like, I get that. But, I mean...
Come on now.
Like, come on. An elephant.
An elephant.
Fucking squares.
Give me a break. And then, like, what is it? A Greenland shark. And a Wells catfish. No.
No.
And then other people are like, no, it's caused by like optical illusions or seismic gas. And you're like, no.
Seismic gas? Oh.
What are you talking about?
Why do you want to live in a boring world?
Yeah.
Why do you want to live in a place devoid of mystery?
Well, that's just it.
Like, that is just boring, you guys.
Yeah, I agree.
It's enough of your shit.
Yeah.
Open your mind.
They're like, well, it's just a large disturbance in the water. It's probably gas. What?
Oh my God.
Sure. Let's go with that.
It's like when some people are trying to disprove conspiracy theories, and don't get me wrong, some of them need to be disproved. It's true.
It's very true.
Some of them are fucking bullshit. But then it's like the most ridiculous things come up, and then they're like, yeah, but the conspiracy theorists, you guys are the crazy ones. And you're the one saying that it's a fucking elephant in Iverness. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
We just misidentified it.
Come on. That's even more crazy.
What?
Fuck people.
I know.
Common sense is dead.
It's silly.
It is silly.
All right.
Who else we got?
Let's see. Okay, so moving on to Mothman.
Yes.
This one fucking fascinates me.
I actually did not know about him until you brought it up, so...
Well, I remember way back. When did that movie have come out? Like, the early 2000s.
Oh, it's, like, kind of cute.
Isn't he though?
He's like cute and scary as fuck.
Like the only reason to go to Point Pleasant, fucking West Virginia, is there was a movie that came out back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. It was called The Mothman Prophecies, and that's the only time I'd ever heard of Mothman. But then you kind of fall down a rabbit hole and do some research and shit. And then, so like the big deal I think happened in the 60s. Like people started to see him in Point Pleasant in this.
Oh yeah, like, 60s, yeah.
Yeah. And it was always kind of the same description. It was like this like 7-foot tall fucking dude, red eyes, and a huge fucking wingspan.
Creepy.
And he'd be flying around at night. And now I'm trying to think what year. So I think it was like, I want to say like the late 60s. Like I want to say it was like 66?
Yeah, 66 to 67. Yeah. That whole year. It said that they had seen this dude.
Because there was a bunch of grave diggers who saw him.
Yeah.
And then like a couple days later, it was the big report. Because there was 2 couples driving in one car out late. And they all fucking saw this thing. And I think it like fucking chased their vehicle.
Scary.
And they went and actually, it was like a 10-foot wingspan, they said. And it like,
holy shit.
I'm like, oh my God. But then they went and reported it to the police. And so the police, I guess, separated them all and interviewed them all separately. And they all had the same story. So they're like, And they were really like good, credible witnesses or whatever. And I can't remember, but they went back out. Like this guy fucking flew. I don't know. If I saw a big fucking 7-foot tall humanoid looking thing with red eyes and a 10-foot wingspan flying like over 100 miles an hour, I wouldn't want to go see that thing again.
Nope.
Well, maybe I would. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it. Maybe I would. But I doubt it.
Fucking crazy.
But anyway, so over the course of the year, these people fucking saw it. And it all culminated in the bridge collapse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a big bridge collapse. That was the whole thing. And they thought that the whole year of everybody seeing these repeated, because it happened a lot over that year. And then they were like, he was trying to warn us about the bridge. And like 46 people, I think, or close to 50 people died when this bridge fucking collapsed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think it is?
Oh, I don't actually know.
I don't know what it is either. Obviously, it's like a real creature.
Mm-hmm.
And I have heard that like there's just certain places where the intersections or there's like a portal, right, between one dimension and another dimension. Yeah. And when this portal, like this overlap happens, it's possible for like weird things to cross over into our dimension, and then they can get kind of stuck here. And I can't remember why I heard about that. I think it was a story where there was like a hunter, and I think it's like an indigenous story, but I unfortunately cannot remember where or who or what was said. But this guy is like, there's this like famine basically, and there's nothing to eat, and this guy goes hunting one day, and he ends up like hunting some really weird creature. It's like, you know, it was like kind of like a deer, but it was like way bigger, and it was just like something he'd never seen before. And he like brings it back to camp, and then they ask about it in hypnosis or whatever, and they're like, yeah, that thing just it hit a portal, it accidentally ended up in your realm. That's sometimes why we see like weird mysterious things randomly, is because they kind of shift it, like depends on where the crossover is, right?
Weird.
So maybe it was something like that.
Maybe, but why would it be like, because just it was trapped here then? Because there's been other sightings like, throughout the years.
If it's almost like sometimes where those portals are, it's like they're like a swinging door. So sometimes they're open, sometimes they're closed. So like if what's that place? Mount Pleasant?
Point Pleasant.
That might just be a place where the crossover is, so it's kind of in and out all the time.
Maybe. I don't know. I kind of like thinking of him as like a little messenger though.
That's cool.
Because I feel like, I don't know, I'd have to go actually do more research. But I feel like he showed up and like anytime somebody saw a Mothman-like creature, there was usually some sort of disaster that happened a certain amount of time later. So I'm like, huh.
Are they the bringers of the disaster or the warning?
I feel like they're a warning. Because I know people are like, oh, it looks like a demon. But if you go back to like the old school descriptions of angels, like seraphims, they are ugly and look evil and whatever, but they're messengers. And if you look at the pictures of the Mothmans, they kind of have like angel crossed with bat wings.
And for some reason, like when I think about the Mothman, it doesn't give me the heebie-jeebies.
No, me neither.
It doesn't freak me out.
No. Like I feel like
if you want to talk about like a Wendigo or something, I'm scared.
Yeah, that can be on our next cryptid episode.
Yeah, I'm instantly like, ah.
It's like, fuck that.
No way. I'm instantly like, oh, Jesus.
Run the other way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just always thought that Mothman was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to think of, like, they're messengers.
And whenever I think of things with wings, I always do feel it, like, think of messengers.
Yeah?
I can't think of anything with wings, and tell me no. I can't think of anything with wings that like freaks me out, except for pterodactyls. I never want to see one of those. But like, I really like birds. I like dragons. I like bats.
Fair enough. Me too. There's some birds I don't like.
Yeah, some of them are shitheads.
But for the most part, I like birds. I wouldn't want a whole bunch of them like diving at me, but. Have you ever been attacked by a bird?
Mm-mm. Have you?
I've been dive bombed by several hummingbirds.
What?
Like, I don't care what anybody says. Those fuckers are brutal.
What? They're so little.
Yeah, but they buzz you. Like, I was sitting on a railing outside at my parents' because they have an acreage and they had a hummingbird feeder, but they're super territorial of their food. And this one was drinking from it and it shouldn't have. And I just happened to be in the way and it was diving and like
holy shit,
I just about fell backwards off the railing. I was like, what the hell? And it kept doing it, so I had to go inside because these aggressive little
holy
hummingbirds.
Shit, that's crazy.
It was crazy.
No, I've never had any bird incidences though,
but I'm just like, could you imagine if those suckers were bigger?
Fuck, that'd be kind of scary.
It would be kind of scary. I'm like, but for the most part I'm right. Why pterodactyls?
I don't know. They don't really scare me, but if I was like gonna be scared of something with wings, that would be it.
Interesting.
I could scoop you up and take and feed you till they're young. Doesn't sound that fun.
No, I guess not. I think those are cool looking though.
Yeah, they are cool. And you know, like again with conspiracy theories and stuff, like I'm fucking sorry, but dinosaurs used to roam this planet, and that's just a fact. And then people are like, but reptilian people, they couldn't be real.
Right.
And it's like, but there's such thing as dinosaurs.
You know what's funny? So we find all these dinosaur bones, and that's how we know.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody made a good point. I was reading this article, and I was like, fuck, I never thought of that. We could have what dinosaurs look like so fucking wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're like, think about if somebody millions of years from now found a carcass of an elephant. There's no bones in its trunk. So they would draw elephants with no trunk.
Right.
Like, what's the most distinctive part of them is their trunk.
Totally. That's so interesting. I've often thought about that too. Like, what do dinosaurs really look like? Like, what if they were just like covered in fur and had all these cartilage appendages? God, that'd be so
like, when did we decide they were all like scaly and had, you know, weird stuff?
There has to be a reason they chose that, but like, is there?
I don't know. Yeah. If you guys know, let us know in the description or comments or whatever the fuck we call that.
So interesting.
But I'm just like, like, what are we missing?
Wow. That's so cool.
It is so cool to think about. I'm like, whoa.
Or what if they were like really vibrant colors too?
Yes.
So neat.
Yeah, why do we draw them like they were all brown?
For real.
Or green? Who decided the T-Rex was going to be green? Maybe Barney got it right and he was purple.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you ever think that's funny? Like, Barney's is fucking basically a T-Rex and around kids. I'm like, Wouldn't he legit eat them?
Totally. That's weird.
It just seemed like an odd pairing to me.
It's kind of an odd pairing. I wonder, thinking about Mothman too, like I wonder what the indigenous stories are about that dude. Because when I first started my journey about like learning about what's real and not real, sometimes I would hear about like certain creatures and I was like, okay, if the indigenous people of this world know about this creature, then it is true.
Like the El Chupacabra?
Yeah.
That'll be another one on our next cryptid episode.
Yeah. And our, like, the little people, like the little like elves and fairies and gnomes that live in the planet. And like, forgive me for being like an imbecile, but like I was part of the generation that didn't learn anything about the First Nations people ever in school. So I had to go looking for this information. I was like, if these people know about the little people, then they're real. And fucking sure enough, of course they know about the little people.
Of course they do.
And I was like, oh my God, this is real. Or yeah, even like Bigfoot and stuff. It's like, if there's a fucking indigenous story about it, that shit is legit.
100%. 100%. So I want to go to Point Pleasant one day. They have this big statue that they made.
Oh my God.
In the town square. Because I mean, it's great for tourist shit,
For sure. I want to see this warlock.
Okay, so have you ever watched BuzzFeed Unsolved?
No, but I love BuzzFeed. Now I feel I need to.
They did a whole episode on Mothman. And they went to Point Pleasant. Like, they sell, like, pizza, but they make it like a Mothman pizza.
Oh my God.
And there's coffees, there's cookies, there's, like, all these things.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, okay. So, like, the town thinks he's pretty fucking cool. But they were interviewing people telling stories of, like, interactions with this thing.
Neat. I want to see that.
I'm like, oh man, I want to watch that again now.
I do believe that some people have nothing better to do than like make up stories. Like, I think those people exist.
Oh, for sure.
But at the same time, it's like, again, at certain points, I always say to people, like, who has what to gain? There's always has to be that motive, right? Like, if you're trying to solve like crimes or murders or whatever, there has to be a fucking motive, right? So it's like, some people maybe want the attention, but some people also have a lot to lose by being like, yeah, I seen this fucking Mothman. You're fucking suddenly not credible in the community. People think you're crazy. Maybe you have a business that could go under.
Here's your tinfoil hat.
Yeah. So it's always like, you have to like follow what someone has to gain or lose.
Totally.
Because people that have absolutely nothing to lose, they're already kind of like losers and want attention. Maybe we have a right to maybe flag those people. And you're like, okay, they don't really have a lot going on. Like,
not to say all people like that don't have legit experiences.
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
They seem a bit more sketch.
Yeah, I could see why I'd be like, all right, that person got a lot out of this.
Did anybody else see that and corroborate it? Because I have questions.
Yeah. So I totally see that in some regards. But then other times it's like people don't have anything to gain by making up fucking stories like this.
Right? And especially when it's seen by multiple people.
Yes. And they're like legitimately kind of like scared.
Like those 6 gravediggers who all saw the same thing. The 2 couples, like the 4 people in the car.
Terrible job.
I don't think it'd be that bad. Not in these days when you have a backhoe.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess. I imagine 6 people shoveling them by hand.
Well, I'm sure back in the day that's what they did, but
Oh, that's funny.
It is funny.
I think we talked about it before, but one of my least favorite things, obviously if you're digging the grave, you're not going to have to put the bodies in there, but fuck, I hate dead bodies. They're so creepy and gross and I hate them.
Why?
I don't know. They're just ugly. There's no light in there. It's all just dark. It's like just meat fucking cesspool. Ugh. And I don't really like meat either, so if that helps anybody. Especially red meat. Ew. Like blood and guts. Gross.
I don't know. I find it kind of fascinating. But I was going to be an embalmer, so.
Right. And it's just one of those stupid, weird fears. Like, I don't know. I just would not like to be around a pile of decomposing bodies.
Do you know what I don't like? Veins.
Oh, I know. I just don't like any of it.
So I was watching, because like I shadowed a couple of embalmings, right? And I'm watching and she's like, this guy had been, well, the first one hadn't been autopsied or anything, but I'm watching her like aspirate the stomach and, push all the gases out and stuff, like gross stuff. And Doesn't bother me. Seeing her ripping out everything out of the cavity because you got to embalm it and you got to take everything out. Didn't bother me. Dude who had an autopsy came. And for whatever reason, there was a little bit of, like when they were doing the embalming liquid, came out of his vein. Right?
Mm-hmm.
For that, I almost passed out. That one little thing. Everything else, open head cavity, didn't bother me. But just that little pop out of the vein.
No, I just
because didn't realize it was there. I was like, fuck.
I don't know why. It's so gross to me. It's just gross. I just don't want to.
And eyes gross me out.
Oh, yeah. And I was scared of skeletons when I was a kid, too. Like, literally, is it the X-File? No. Maybe it was SVU, like Law and Order, but there's, like, a skull that comes on at the beginning in the opening credits, and I just have to close my eyes. Like, oh, my God, that's inside of me right now. So gross.
Weird.
I must have had, like, a weird life where I
must have
had to, like, hang out with, like, a lot of dead things, because it doesn't make any sense to me to be that scared of something that's inside of me all the time.
You want to hear something fucked?
Yeah.
Because the more people listen about stories of my childhood, they're just going to be like, this girl needs some fucking help. But you know how most girls will carry around their little dolls, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had this stupid skeleton Halloween decoration that used to, like, you'd hang it up and, it was plastic. I carried him around like a doll all the time. He was about,
oh my God,
a couple feet.
You're a creepy kid.
Tall,
I feel like you were also trapped with a bunch of dead people, but then you, like, made them your friends. You, like, made up people that they were and, like, talked to their ghosts and shit.
Yeah, I named him Bones. He came with me everywhere.
God. No.
And I would tuck him in at night.
What the hell? When I was, what the fuck? Yeah. Nope, not me. I've never liked skeletons. Ew.
Yeah. Here's the witchy, like...
But I like creepy things. Just not dead people or skeletons. But, like, you want to give me, like, some, like, Edgar Allan Poe shit. Like, actually, I guess I still like the story where the Telltale Heart and stuff. Like, that's a dead person.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like creepy things, but not decomposing bodies. I don't want to be around them.
He wrote a lot about bodies and dead things.
Yeah, I guess.
Like the black cat, the one who was walled up and then...
I don't know. I guess I like it from a distance.
You like the macabre aesthetic.
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
Fair enough. That's so funny.
I know. It doesn't really make any sense, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. Does it still freak you out, though? Or are you, like, it's not as bad now?
Skulls don't really bother me anymore. Like, skeletons don't. But, like, yeah, dead bodies, not really.
But you're over the bone part of it.
Yeah. Bones don't creep me out anymore. But, yeah. No. Like, my sister works on the ICU, and she's just, like, the angel of death, apparently. And I'm just like, yeah, no. No, thanks.
How many dead bodies have you seen? Any? In this lifetime?
Yeah, I've seen a few. I'd say like 3.
Just at funerals, or?
Well, I was there when 2 of my grandparents passed away. Yeah. So I watched their, like, life actually leave.
Got it.
And then they just don't look like themselves all of a sudden. It's like a split instant. And you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
And I don't know. And then you're kind of like, what is that? Like, as soon as the soul leaves, you're just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Suddenly they just, like, look as sick as they were, Like,
yeah, they look like a carcass.
Yeah, it's just, just nasty.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I just wouldn't hang out with one for fun. I'd be like, oh, yeah, see ya. Or even, like, babies, I might have said this before, but according to the Akashic Records, a soul for a baby doesn't fully integrate until they're about, like, 12 weeks old. They're in and out, in and out, in and out, which is why they sleep so much. But one time I was holding a baby, and the eyes were open and everything, and I was like, there ain't nobody in there, man. And I was like, this kid looks weird. And then it's like the next time I saw him, he was, like, there. You could, like, see the light behind the eyes, and I was like, oh, there you are. And I was like, okay.
So what's your theory then on, like, you know how, like, you look at pictures of serial killers and shit, and it's like, the lights are on, but nobody's home. What's that about then? This took a sinister turn.
Yeah. So I've had 2 theories on this. One is that they're just such, like, a negative soul that there just isn't any light there. Like, they're literally just dead inside. But I also, did you have soul loss? You can lose pieces of your soul.
I think I did because you made me watch that video.
Yeah. So you can have soul loss, and if you lose more than 5% of your soul, you'll start to like exhibit like really weird behavior because you're only like half there, and you can only 5%. You'll have like not every single person that's schizophrenic is missing soul. Some people choose to just have that.
Yeah.
But like schizophrenia, like sometimes even like certain like they're just kind of like not all there.
Weird.
Yeah. So I've seen some people where you just look at them and it's just like there's nothing back there.
Yeah.
They're alive, they're talking to you, but you're like, what the fuck's happening?
I know, it's like the lights are on, but nobody's home and you have the crazy eyes right now.
Yeah. So maybe it's like a pretty significant level of soul loss.
Huh. That's interesting, actually.
Or you can also have multiple souls living in one vessel. So they'll like rotate. But you'd never notice. You'd think that it like the symptom of that would be like multiple personality disorder. No, it happens. It's like a soul thing. So it doesn't manifest mentally. It's suddenly like a different soul will like overtake the body. And like that could be like, it's usually, who would do that? Only negative souls.
Only negative.
So you could have the light on and then all of a sudden the light's off kind of thing. Because then they're taking over.
Do you think that's like demonic possession too?
In the way that I look at it, like I think that is how demons...
We should do a whole episode on demonic possession.
I think that's how demons
get in.
But this is actually, whenever I look at it and see it, it's actually like an agreement. Which I guess even if a demon takes over, there's kind of a...
Well, there has to be some level of consent, you would think.
It's somebody that had a lot of control over you in your past life. Like if you were a slave and owned by someone, or if your father like owned you or your husband owned you and they were just nasty, they like can just take over because you give them so much of your power.
That's so creepy.
That eventually they can just have your whole self. Isn't that crazy?
That's so fucking fascinating though.
It is fascinating. And I fucking met people like that. And I don't tell them that that's what's happening because that would scare the shit out of you, right?
If somebody told me that, I'd be like, what?
It's very rare, though. Very rare. So if you guys are like, did it happen to me and she didn't tell me? Likely no. Like, trust me, it's very, very rare. But yeah. I've seen it a couple times and I'm like, oh, no wonder why you're so hot and cold.
Jeez.
It's like 5 of you in there.
No shit.
Yeah, it's creepy.
That's terrifying.
It is kind of terrifying.
No thanks. All right. So...
Yeah, back on topic.
Now that we're done our little, like, I don't know, interlude of
spookiness.
Spooky, macabre. Yeah. Or is it macabre or is it macabre? I've heard it both ways.
I have no idea, actually.
Seems a very French word to me. Macabre.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Whatever.
I like make a point to never say that word out loud because I don't know how to pronounce it.
You just know there's people going, that's not how you fucking say it.
Well, let us know,
I
damn
fucking say it.
We don't know.
I change the way I say words all the time. Do you do that?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I'll say something one way for a long time and then I'll completely change how I say it. Except for roof. I will never say roof.
Yeah.
No, it's the fucking roof, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your roof, do you mean?
Yeah. Whenever people say that, I always laugh. But I'm sure they laugh at people that say roof.
Yeah, totally.
So...
Or like you go to the States and they'll say stuff like mayonnaise. Like, mayonnaise. Oh, mayonnaise.
Yeah. When I was living in the States, I got busted for lots of things. They're like, what fucking state are you from? Minnesota? And I was like, nah, in Canada.
Minnesota.
That's what they'd always say. You from Minnesota? And they call that Canada in the States. Anyone who's not from Minnesota, oh, you from Minnesota?
Oh my god, that's so funny.
That's the second Canada. That was a joke. Yeah, and anyway, I say bag. Like, apparently it's like, that sounds like we're saying beg, like B-E-G.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's bog kind of thing, however they say it.
Okay, wait, how do you say, like, anything in particular?
What do you mean? Anything in particular?
Yeah, see? You just said it.
Yeah.
I listen to, like, I watch all these things and everyone says particular.
Oh, interesting.
Which I guess technically is how it's spelled. You would say particular.
Right.
But we're like, particular?
So true.
Nothing particular.
What else did I get busted on?
Did you
Definitely bag was a big one all the time. Every time I said the word bag, someone would say something. It's like, fuck, okay, I get it. I don't say it right.
Did you say about right?
No.
Isn't that one of the words they always make fun of us for?
No one really. Actually, yeah, they busted me on that too. Oh yeah, and then I always say, I think this is a different between lots of people, but I say process, and they say process.
And I think I say process.
Yeah, like some people say process. So like once upon a time I said it that way, and then I randomly switched to process. I don't know why.
Yeah. Do you ever like when you were down there say my bunny hug?
Oh.
Or did you always say hoodie?
Yeah, I said bunny hug a few times, and people were like, "What?" And then I think for like year, my friend Katie was like, every time I met someone, they're like, "Tell them what you call bunny or hoodies. Tell them." And I think she started calling it bunny hug. She's like, "I like that better." She's from Alabama.
Yeah. There was because when I went, because that's just strictly 100% a Saskatchewan thing.
Yeah.
Because when I went to college in Canada, like in fucking Victoria there.
Right.
All the Saskatchewan ones were like, "Oh, we're ordering clothes. Can we get bunny hugs?" Because we were getting embroidered, shirts and stuff for our school. And everyone was like, "What is a bunny hug?"
Yeah.
And we were like, "A bunny hug, And
like a hoodie.
Yeah, then the everyone's like, "You mean a hoodie?" And then there was the odd Albertan one who was like, "Do you mean a kangaroo jacket?" And I'm like, "No, I mean a fucking bunny hug."
Oh my god, that's so funny.
But then there was a few of the ones in BC who were like, "I like bunny hug. I'm gonna use that."
I like that.
But that's when living out there, I kind of stopped using bunny hug for a while.
Yeah, you kind of just are like, yeah, no one knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And there was another, it was like toques, like our knitted hats for winter. Everyone calls them a toque, right? And like that is just not a word there.
I know, it's a beanie.
A beanie, yeah.
I'm like, what?
Like, what do you mean? Like, and then they're like, yeah, like knitted hats for winter. And I'm like, that's fucked up.
A toque?
Yeah. And I was like, I guess a toque is a very Canadian word, but like that was shocking to me. I was like, what the fuck? A beanie?
Well, I don't even get beanie.
Yeah, me neither. And it just makes it sound like it's not important. This is like a life-saving device in Canada. A toque, that's serious business. And then beanie just makes it sound like it's for fun. Like, no, that should save your life up here.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's a necessity, man. Yeah. Toque just sounds like aggressive and like you need this.
Yes, exactly.
Very masculine word. Toque.
Yes.
Almost sounds like a swear word.
Yeah, it does. The way we pronounce it, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, again.
All right, moving on.
Okay, Bigfoot.
Sasquatch.
He's our grand finale.
Yes. For this episode, anyway.
Yeah.
What do you prefer? Do you like saying Sasquatch or do you like saying Bigfoot?
Sasquatch.
I like that word.
Yeah, me too.
I like it a lot. Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I think maybe because it's like very Saskatchewan. Maybe that's why.
It does feel very Saskatchewan.
I don't know. I found it on Instagram once. I don't know if it's still around pre-COVID, but somebody, I don't know if they were from Saskatoon or Regina, but they were making watches and they called it Sask watches.
Oh,
so
that's
it's like
cute.
Sasquatches. And I was like, I like that.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
He has so many different names though, like Bigfoot,
Yeti.
There's a bunch of other ones too, like
I can't think.
I know, me neither. He has like local names.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, what do you think about him?
I think he's fucking cool.
Right?
Like, I just love it.
I think it's another one of those things where it's like, there's been enough people that have said they've seen them or had experiences that, like, statistically speaking, perhaps it's something we should look into.
But he's another one. Do you think, like, because I feel like he can pop dimensions.
Yes.
Like, I feel like he just does it at will.
Oh, yeah. I actually, from what Dolores Cannon covers Bigfoot, of course, too.
Of course.
And there's actually another, I can't remember the book, but there's actually a whole book about, like, legends of Sasquatch or whatever. And it is about, what he is. And actually, I think, lots of indigenous people fucking know this. So apparently, he was created as a species the same time that humans were. And we were, like, brothers for life. Because we were just, like, two... Actually, I don't know if we were created the same time. When humans, not your soul comes from source, okay? But when your bodies were created, there's like limitations, right? And humanity is really aggressive and volatile and like, we like to fight. Okay?
What?
Yeah, surprise. We love to fight, yeah. And argue.
No.
So then they're like, maybe we should try this again. And then they like created Sasquatch. But then apparently Sasquatch is like a little too gentle now. Like no fight or flight skills, very peaceful, very gentle, very intuitive, very connected. So then it's like we were kind of created around the same time, but we both exhibit almost like
polar opposites,
and there should be like a nice middle ground. But they're not gonna, I think, fuck with us any longer.
But I feel like he's also very playful because you'll like hear of people getting chased by them and they're like throwing rocks, you know?
Yeah.
And but I mean, to them, like a pebble is a big fucking like, it's like, oh, you could literally kill me right now, but they're like just running around having fun.
I believe that.
I would totally, if I was a Sasquatch, I would totally just like harass the humans like that, just for fun.
Sure. And like, I think because they're so intuitive, they're actually much more advanced than us, and they are part of the fifth dimensional community. They still have the connection on the star councils, because I think at one point humanity was on a star council, so where we could work with the other beings in the cosmos and like make plans and blah blah blah. But then we got kicked off because we're bad news. Wow. Well, Sasquatch is still on it. Guy never got kicked off. He's good.
For sure.
So I feel like, he like pops in. He's already fifth dimensional, so he pops back and forth between 3 and 5.
Yeah.
And apparently, you know how you can like, you do a CE5 event and you go and you like summon the aliens? Apparently you can basically summon Sasquatch in the same way.
Really?
Yeah.
That I did not know.
Because he can hear you because he's like connected to the quantum field, right?
Well, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. But like,
sweet.
I've heard he's so, or not he, but the Sasquatch people.
I like how we just always call him a he.
Are really sensitive though, that like if you do see them and you're like, oh, you're so scary and ugly, then they like, disappear. Oh. Like they get sad, they get hurt feelings. They like remember when we used to be like brothers and we were all in the Star Council together, and they're always like, oh, like humanity, why can't you do better? So we like hurt Sasquatch's feelings all the time by like thinking he's a myth, because
I feel like I want a bumper sticker that like says something clever about that.
Yeah.
Like Sasquatch cries every time you something.
Make fun of him, bastards. Yeah, so apparently that's why they're so elusive. They're kind of in and out of dimension.
Interesting.
And that's why they can like, you like people are tracking like footprints and then they just randomly end.
Yeah, because they pop into a new dimension.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
So that's pretty cool. And I think they just like live like all over the place.
I think so too, but where if you were going to go Sasquatch hunting, where would you go?
My dad says the locals up north think that so we live in Saskatchewan, and Stony Rapids is like on the Northwest Territory border, and there's an island there, and they don't go to that island because that's Sasquatch's island. I forget what they call him up there though.
Cool.
I would go there, I think, because apparently he's easy to find, and I think people like know about him, so someone would take you. But they have like a lot of respect or whatever, so I don't think anyone would take me. But
that'd be fun. I would totally want to go to Sass. But I don't know, like when you say like Bigfoot, I don't know why Mount Shasta is always the first place that comes to mind for me. And I have no idea why. It's not like I've heard stories about Bigfoot there. It's just like that's what my intuition says. It's like, go to Mount Shasta.
I see
Bigfoot. I don't know. Like, is that
makes sense.
Is that one of the places he shows up?
I don't know. Maybe.
Because I know he's places in North America and Canada.
And then I think like definitely like BC in the mountains. People always talk about him.
Yeah. So that would make sense that I would think Mount Shasta, because that's kind of it's kind of California-y kind of same vibe of stuff.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes the mountains would be a good spot, but then it's just like, man, that's so much harder than a flat forest.
Yeah. But I feel like that's where it would be, like mountainy kind of.
Yeah. Mountainy, like thick forest. Because up north, it's just trees, and water. Like it's thick bush. It's like, of course he lives up there. And there's not them people up there.
No.
It's very small.
When were you first introduced to Bigfoot?
Ooh.
And how?
I feel like it was like after we got cable TV. I lived on a farm. We had 2 channels for most of my life. Then we got satellite. I guess not cable, satellite. And then it was like I watched so many like paranormal, like ghost hunting things. And they always like throw in a few UFOs and a few Sasquatch ones here or there.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, wow, And like surveying my parents, like, do you guys think he's real? And my parents were like, no. And then I was like, I think he's real.
I think my first interaction, or how I got introduced to the idea of a Bigfoot, typical 80s kid right now, is the movie Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise, cool. How would I have heard of it?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Interesting.
Other than that, like, I have no idea. Other than it might have been in a story or a book or an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. Because I loved me some Unsolved Mysteries when I was a kid. And X-Files. I feel like there was probably a Bigfoot X-Files episode, too.
I know. So I like remember learning lots of stuff on those mystery things and then being like, man, that's interesting. But when I was a kid, I was like, I don't know. I really want it to be true, but I don't have any evidence. So I wasn't just like, oh, it's real for sure. I was just like, I want it to be real.
Oh, I
want the mysteries to be real. Doesn't that just make life way more exciting?
Mm-hmm. But I was always like straight up like, let's just believe the magic.
Yeah. But I do feel like, yeah, like I said, I was pretty sure that Sasquatch was real from the beginning. I was never like, that's impossible. I was like, yeah, it makes sense to me.
What would be an example of one thing that you were like straight up, that's impossible, and you're still like, that's impossible?
Oh, man. Something that I just did not believe in at all. Hell. I don't want to say impossible, but that doesn't make any fucking goddamn sense.
Oh, I used to get, well, you know, me in the Catholic schools, right? I used to get in trouble when I said hell and heaven were the same place.
For real. Well, like, it doesn't make any sense. God gives you free will and then punishes you for your freedom. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't make no sense. And then even I remember being like, okay, so worst case scenario is you'd burn in hell, but I don't have a body because I'd be disembodied. So I'm like, how could it hurt you? How could you burn eternally? I was like, it'd all be mind over matter, wouldn't it? And then I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that you burn. And then I've seen people think that like hell is like where you wake up every day, like, and you just do the same day over and over and over again. And I'm like,
yeah, just reliving your worst day.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that would kind of suck. But again, at some point you'd be like, wait, I'm dead. There's nothing to be afraid of. And I was like, hell, I like remember like this is childhood Kayla trying to figure out what would be so bad about hell. And then I just remember being like, none of this adds up. None of this fucking adds up, man.
You'd be what's her face in The Good Place. You ever see that show?
Oh, I've seen like 2 episodes.
But like you'd be the one to figure it out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll just take things for face value. I must understand it.
Oh, and you couldn't swear.
Oh my god.
Fork you!
That is so funny.
That like I don't know who created the concept of that show, but it's pretty good.
I should watch it. Watch more of it.
Yeah, I haven't seen I think I've seen the first season and that's it, but
yeah, so interesting. So yeah, hell's probably something that doesn't make no sense and hasn't made any sense ever. I think like purgatory is a real place, but I also don't think you get stuck there for very long.
I feel like purgatory is now.
Yeah.
Like your life on earth is purgatory.
I could see that.
Right? Like, doesn't that make more sense?
Yes.
Because you're kind of like waiting to go to the next
That's true.
dimension.
I've heard there's like 3 tiers in the afterlife. There's like the purgatory tier, which is where like the negative souls will go and they just go there for like 2 seconds before they recycle into a new experience. Then there's like heaven, what you consider heaven. And heaven's just like, what do you want it to be? All your loved ones will be here. It can be the old cottage you wanted. It's like just what you want it to be. And then there's like the upper tier where all the high vibes go. And it's like, kind of reminds me of like Greek-ish stuff. And there's like a big library, a big like pool that you can like relax in. And it's very like Eden-ish. Not Eden. I don't even know what Eden looks like. I just made that up.
Eden's like a garden.
Yeah, it's not gardeny. It like looks like lots of pillars and like Greek and Roman type vibe.
Yeah.
And you can go up there and like study and hang out with the angels and shit.
Cool.
And for some reason, every time someone talks about that place, I can see it very clearly. I'm like, I don't know. I guess I've been there before.
Probably.
And you can go there if you are still in your body and go like lay in the pool of healing. And the guides that help you lay in the pool of healing know that you're not really dead like everybody else because you have your cord still. I'm like, oh, just come for a bath, are you?
I would like to go for a bath.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah, it's like where you take your go-go suit off and you cleanse all your shit so you can just like be free.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like I need that. I need that in my life right now.
I know. Man, I should go to that pool.
Totally.
Yeah.
Anyway, we totally got sidetracked.
We've gotten on a lot of really random tangents.
Yeah, really random.
But very fascinating tangents.
I feel like it still all kind of fits in the spooky realm.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe.
Spooky.
Spooky. Were we done talking? I feel like there's so much more about Bigfoot, and we're just totally like shitting the bed.
I know.
I feel like if we were to turn on the microphone, we could talk for him for like 2 hours.
Oh, for sure.
God.
Have any of you guys seen Bigfoot? Do you have a Bigfoot story? Do you have a story about any of these dudes?
Yeah. Have you been
to
to Point Pleasant? Have you been to, seen the Loch Ness or Ogopogo?
I'm always so jealous of people that have experiences like that. I've always wanted one so badly, but like just of any of them.
Yeah.
And then I feel my team is just like, no, you're the kind of person that has a lot to lose and you would lose it because you would never stop talking about it. So they're like, no interesting experiences for you.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Oh, that's where your assholes are, guys.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. When they're like, no, you can't have anything fun because we'll ruin it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all good. Anyway, we digress.
Yeah. What do we got next week?
Next week's the Halloween week.
Oh, yeah. So it's ghost stories. So you guys, send us your fucking ghost stories.
Yeah, like, get on it. We're going to have to put some social media posts out and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
We'll do
I can
that.
do it.
I can do it.
Both Randy and I have been shitting the bed on social media lately, so my bad.
And my bad. I can't care. Can't care.
Look, today I actually posted stuff on social media, both the podcast and my personal page, and honest to fuck, Randy, because the service has been so shitty since the big solar flash or whatever, the big solar flare. It took me all day.
I believe it.
It's so time consuming. Can you imagine what people who make reels, how long it takes them? Because making a reel is hard work. I am vastly entertained by your reels, so please keep putting that much work into them. But I can't.
I look at like all these, like, first of all, where do you find your audio? Second of all, who could be bothered to splice that all together? And third of all, shoot me now.
I know, people are so impressive. Like, I can't do anything. And it was like real easy. The stuff that I do is really easy, and it still takes me all day.
Yeah, I couldn't do that's why I don't do reels, you guys. I'm not technologically inclined. And it's Mercury retrograde, so that would just be a big old disaster and waste of my time.
Yeah. I was born during Mercury retrograde, so apparently it's a good time for me, but doesn't feel like it's been a good time this one.
You know what? I feel like normally I don't have that hard of a time, but this one seemed particularly. But then again, I think it was like the whole Saturn was retrograde and Pluto. Like, I feel I had more problems with those planets.
I've been on a streak of bad luck. And I'm like, I want to blame the planets, but I'm no better than that. I know partly I fucked this up too. But I like have this thing that's broken with my car, and you guys, $5,000 to replace. But I think I can make a claim under my insurance. So pray for me that it'll go from $5,000 to $700. Which is still ridiculous. And I got a speeding ticket.
You did?
Yeah, I got it when I was in Saskatoon, and I got it, like, the mail went to my mom's house, so she just gave it to me. I'm like, fuck.
That sucks.
And I, like, want to play Guitar Hero and all that stuff, because, like, we're going to have to hunker in for winter and find, like, a hobby, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I got all this stuff, and, like, some of it doesn't work, and I'm like, God damn it. It's a bad streak, but I'm going to turn it around. Did a reading for someone the other day, and I was like, oh, all this is messaging to me as well. And I was like, I need to listen to this.
I love it.
I'll get it together, you guys.
Totally. It'll be good. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't even know. When does Mercury go out retrograde? I don't know.
Sometime in the next 2 weeks.
Oh. I was going to say, I want to say it's like November.
I don't know.
But it's all good. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway. Like I said, I feel like there should be way more than this for whatchamacallit, Bigfoot. But there's lots of information.
You know
what? Maybe we'll do we'll mention him when we do our second Cryptids episode.
We'll talk more about him.
But we've been talking a lot, and I think we just got distracted by our weird fucking tangents.
Yeah, which I'm okay with.
That's
what our whole podcast is weird tangents. So.
Yeah, but I liked it.
Me too.
I liked the whole dead body interlude. That was interesting. Where did that come from?
I know, right?
But it was fine. It was good.
It was good.
Yeah. Let us guys. Let us know, you guys, if you have any stories about any of these creatures, or if you know a really cool thing about them, or let us know
what else you want us to talk about. Because I think we'll do like a series.
I think
people have been digging the spooky season episodes, so I have to keep it going.
Yeah, and paranormal true crime stories, like the Dietlov Pass and stuff like that.
I feel like we should share creepy past lives that we've read for people one time. Because they're not gonna, like, obviously some of our people might hear, but they're not gonna. It's not like they know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
I got some good creepy ones, and I've just been
There's
like,
been some what the fuck?
Whoa. Yeah, because I do get some kind of like normal ones because we're looking at the lives where things never really manifested, but yeah.
But I feel like those are kind of some of the things that we do on our bonus episodes too.
Oh, and then and then like the body healing sessions, those are always real shitty lives for people.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yes, we'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Whether we do it here or on Patreon, we'll figure it out.
Yes.
So fun. Anywho, you guys, we've talked your ear off. I'm sure it's got to have been over an hour by now.
Oh, yeah. Must be.
You guys had fun. Admit it.
Yeah.
Anyway, kids, we will talk to you on our Halloween extravaganza.
Yes.
Which is ghost stories. We're going to have a special guest, though.
Yes, our first one.
Yay!
I love it.
As long as we, can get our shit together and everyone's schedules will still work. But as of the time of recording this, we're going to have a guest.
Hells yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right. Peace out, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.